Hello, everybody, and we are in for a treat today. We have got a very special guest, Brian Christopher, the #1 casino slot influencer on the planet. I think YouTuber. You may know him from multiple channels. He's everywhere, and he's both physically and in the online domain. You cannot miss Brian Christopher if you like slot machines. Brian, it's such a treat. Thank you for being here.
Great to see you again, Craig.
All right. So, Brian, I think a lot of people, you probably hear this all the time. You have a dream job for somebody that likes to play slots. How did you get into this?
Well, yeah, I do hear that all the time, but if only they knew. No, I mean, this was never what I planned to do. It just kind of happened. I put up some videos for fun. They took off, and I rolled with it. And somehow I've always had this like entrepreneurial ship, I guess, inside of me. I've always like wanted to do businesses, and so I was like, well, maybe I can see where this goes. And I've always just keep trying to one up myself and keep on growing, and it seems to be working okay.
It sure has. I mean, I think when I started following you, maybe the first time we talked, you maybe had 20,000 followers, and as of June 30th, what is it up to now?
Oh, I don't know. I lost count. It's around 270,000, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If you add up my other channel, because I have a second channel for online slots only, and that one has just about 35. So we're just over 300 total, I guess.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So you've always had an entrepreneurial instinct. You were dabbling in a few different things, but what was it that you're like, whoa, I think we got something here? Like when did you say like, all right, this isn't just a hobby, me posting some videos of me playing slots. This is something I can maybe make some money in.
I mean, it literally took about a month, which is crazy. But I mean, after the first week, I saw so many subscribers coming in and so many comments, and it was a new world to me. Like I knew about YouTube, but I didn't know like about growth or anything else. And it was at the 1 month area or time when I got contacted by the YouTube partner program inviting me to join it. So I was like, all right, sure, let's do it. And so then I was able to add ads onto the videos, or rather they added the ads. And I was like, okay, well, I'm now making a little bit more than I was as an Uber and Lyft driver, which was supporting my acting career. And I was like, okay, well, let's keep on going and see where this takes us. And thank goodness I was able to let that part of my life go. And I just jumped right in. I had to make the conscious decision to put my other plans on hold and go full throttle with this one.
And so I guess that is a good opportunity to jump back. So you're originally from Canada, and you moved from Canada. What prompted you to move from Canada to Southern California? You said it was acting?
Yeah, it was always my dream to get to LA as an actor. I was acting since I was a little kid, and so I always wanted to be in the movies. And I was with my husband Marco for many years, and we had talked about making the move, but I wanted to make sure I had a good enough resume under my belt before I made that move. And so when the time finally hit, where I was like, okay, I've been in enough TV shows and films for me to make the move, we looked into it, and luckily he was able to get a transfer with his work and get on over here to California. And for the first, I think it was about a year or so, at least 6 months, I wasn't even able to work. So I was just taking acting classes and getting to know people in the industry and auditioning for really horrible student films and stuff, because I couldn't get paid. So I was like, I will work for free, and eventually was able to start auditioning. But it's literally like right after that moment is when this started.
Wow. And when you say you weren't able to work, it was a work visa issue?
Yeah. I had to wait for the visa and the paperwork to go through. And it was like a 6-month process, I think, something like that. 6 months to a year. And then when it finally came in, I was able to work for Lyft and Uber. And I was also a caterer, too. I was catering. I catered like the Golden Globes and stuff. It was pretty cool. I did a lot of like fancy, I worked at like people's houses, for like rich millionaires and stuff. I was working hard for my money.
That's amazing. So in Canada, were you playing slots in Canada? Was this something you kind of picked up in the US, or talk about that?
Yeah, no, I've always loved slots. in Canada, you have to be 19 to play on slot machines. You have to be 18 to play bingo. So, of course, obviously, I started playing bingo. And then I went in, and when I can go to the casinos, then I started going to casinos and playing slots. But, I mean, I would probably go 2 times a year, something like that, maybe 3 times a year, as opposed to weekly. So times have changed a little bit because I need to make content.
So obviously there's people before you that put videos up on of them playing slots, but when it comes to being a casino influencer and really building a business around it, you're blazing a lot of trails. When you were as you're growing, were you looking at influencers, maybe other niches that to get tips, or how did how have you figured out the path to take?
I haven't really looked at many people like Philip DeFranco. I've always enjoyed listening to him, and he was really the only like YouTuber I ever watched semi-religiously. But I think where I took most of my input from was right after I decided to do like go full throttle with this. I started seeking out classes to take and books to read and to learn more about how it all works. So I went to like conferences. I went to like Vid Summit and VidCon and G2E. Like I went to G2E, what was it, like 6 months or so? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Yeah, 6 months after I started, I was already at G2E. I had maybe 15,000 subscribers or 10,000 or something like that. And I was like, I'm a YouTube gambler and I'm really cool and you should let me record your stuff. And I was a little bit, I don't want to say cocky, but confident. I was definitely confident. And because of the growth happening so quickly, there was a little buzz around the channel. So I was able to use that, I think, to get in and make some contacts at the beginning. And one of the contacts I actually made there at the beginning was a great contact, but we didn't work together for about 2.5 or 3 years after that. But we stayed in contact the whole time. And we always knew there was going to be some time where we would work together. And so it shows you that those little baby steps and those nudges you do at the beginning will pay off. Yeah.
And so for anybody that doesn't know, G2E is Global Gaming Expo. It's like the biggest conference in the world where a lot of big wigs from casinos around the world and casino vendors are all there. So, and we actually hung out together at G2E 2 years ago.
That would have been 2 years ago, I think now. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, all right. So obviously, and actually there you gave a speech, which just kind of goes to show how you've grown so quickly. And so when did it switch from you trying to talk casinos into letting you film in there? Because obviously that's always a struggle. They're like, what are you doing with the camera? To them reaching out to you to come film. Like, when did that transition happen?
It's still transitioning. I'm still trying to convince casinos because still I'd say at least half of them, if not 75% of them, probably still don't. No, I think it's even more than that. Most of them don't allow recording at all, and some of them are open to the idea. But most of the time I have to do a lot of nudging and convincing and they'll ask me so many questions and be like, we don't do that. And why would, and then I'm like, and then when they ask me questions, I'm like, well, you can just watch any one of my 2,000 videos and see what I do. And you'll notice that I'm not doing anything bad. This is actually good for you. And, it's the hardest thing is just convincing people that don't know the importance of social media, how important it really is. Because some people that are in charge, unfortunately, don't get it still. But yes, I'm definitely getting casinos reaching out to me more and more, which is a great thing, which is why our schedule is so crazy busy right now.
Yeah, and I want to get back to that in a minute because obviously we're in crazy times and there's a lot of people that are skeptical of coming to a casino and for obvious reasons. And actually, why don't we just get into that? So it seems like this has been, well, actually, I don't know if it's been good for business or bad for business. Obviously, you weren't able to go to a casino for a couple months, but now as they reopen, casinos want to help people build confidence in coming to play. And what better way than invite an influencer to show that it's safe and fun? So, yeah, what's it been like for you post COVID-19?
I mean, we're not post it yet, but
oh yeah.
Well, we're still in it.
Yeah, good point. We're as casinos reopen, we're still in it.
Yeah. I mean, so the closure hurt our channel. We thought we'd see a huge influx in views, and we pretty well stayed stagnant in the views, but all the marketing people pulled their money out of ads because no one could sell anything, right? So we lost about 40% in revenue because of it. But we were doing fine, and we were taking care of our staff just fine. And luckily, we had a lot of videos behind us because we try and film 2 to 3 months in advance. So we were doing okay. And then time was running out, and we were running out of videos. And then we started hearing about casinos opening. And the very first one that opened was Coeur d'Alene Casino in Idaho. So we reached out to them. They were a little hesitant at first, like, I don't know if we really want to be put on the world stage because we're already put there being the first one. And I asked them like all the steps that they were doing for safety, and I'm like, you guys are doing like everything right. It sounds pretty darn good. So, if you want, and I literally booked my flight and my own hotel before I even had confirmation. I'm like, well, listen, I'm coming tomorrow. So that's literally what it came down to. It was like, I'm gonna be there tomorrow, so try and get me the confirmations I need. And they finally said, okay, fine, yeah, let's do it. And they were so thankful, actually, that I did it, because those videos got them so much positive attention and articles in newspapers about it as well, because people saw it. And that's what actually opened the eyes of other casinos that watched my video too. And they reached out to me and said, and they reached out to that casino asking them, what are they doing? What's working? What's not working? And that's why I wanted to do it, was to like inform the public of what to expect when you go in, and that was the first casino you see people wearing masks or getting temperature checks, and people were like, what the heck is this? This is, it sounds like they're going too far, but not necessarily in the end, I guess.
So you've been exposed now to quite a few different casinos. What are you seeing, good and bad, and not necessarily from the ones you've been to, because it sounds like they've all been pretty safe, but around the country, what have you been hearing, good and bad, from a safety perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie and say that I was happy with all the casinos I went to. Some of them I didn't know everything about it until I showed up, and so some of them, when I got to them, they weren't requiring masks to be worn, and my jaw like hit the floor. Like, I'm like, and I literally had that hard chat with them. I'm like, so why did you decide this exactly? And challenging them on it, and it turns out that they have now flip-flopped, and they're now requiring masks, and which is a great thing. And also many casinos are now making themselves non-smoking, which is like very smart, obviously. Do you really want people to pull down their mask and blow all over the place? No, I don't think you do. And I mean, I'm a very outspoken person about smoking in casinos. I think it's about time we get rid of smoke in the casinos, when only 13% of the population of the U.S. actually smokes these days. It doesn't really make sense that that should still be a thing. So the fact that this is happening is great. And like I mentioned before, that first time I went to G2E and I made that one connection, it was with a non-smoking organization. And so now we've partnered with them, and we are tackling different casinos. And so over the next little while, I'm going to be traveling to different casinos and promoting the fact that they have gone non-smoking now, because I think it's amazing what they're doing. Even though it may be temporary, it needs to go forward from there, because, and I'm sorry if I'm going on too long. I'm very passionate. But like, I don't know about you, but I've got like dozens and dozens of emails from casinos repeatedly saying, your health is our number one priority, the health and safety of our people. And we're speaking with all the health experts and everything else. And I'm like, I want to call BS on it and be like, if you really cared about our health and safety, you would ban smoking in your casino. Like, you can have outdoor patios. There are many casinos that even have outdoor patios with slot machines, or that works. But when you're making the staff and the patrons breathe it in nonstop, that's not really fair to everybody. So I'm loving the changes that are happening, and I hope that continues. And masks need to be mandatory everywhere if you want to just flatten this curve. I keep reading that the worst is still yet to come, and that's pretty darn scary. The last thing we want is for all these things to close up again. And if we're talking about entertainment here, right? Casinos are supposed to be fun and entertaining. So if you really want to have your entertainment, then put on a darn mask already.
What's the name of the organization? You want to give them a shout out? The one.
It's there's a couple different companies that they're all work together. There's Americans for Non-Smokers' Rights, or you can go to like no-smoke.org, and they have a really great list of casinos that are non-smoking. There's about over 800 of them right now in the U.S., which is really great. And they also have all the stats that back everything up, which is where I get the 13% of Americans smoking. It's a legitimate statistic, and you'll see like year by year how it keeps going down, 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 down. But casinos have it in their mindset that they will lose their patrons if they go non-smoking, but it's just not the case. I mean, if you look at full countries like Australia, Canada, or even in Macau that have gone non-smoking, they're thriving. They're doing just fine without the cigarette smoke. And just like when the bars and restaurants said no smoking in the U.S., everyone claimed they would all go out of business. Well, people still smoke, or people still eat and drink, so they're doing just fine.
And just curious, where does vaping? Is that are they anti-vaping, or is that kind of a gray area because of the second?
There's no gray area. Yeah, there's no gray area. It is still horrible for you. It is still bad for you. And some studies even say that it's even worse for you.
Mm-hmm.
And some slot manufacturers said it's horrible for the slot machines because it gets inside of them and ruins them too. So,
wow.
And I mean, you've heard all the news about what it does to people's lungs here, and people just even kids that are 18 dying from it. So yeah, it's no better.
All right. Well, thank you for that.
Spewing that out.
No, it is interesting. I have a friend that was at Harrah's New Orleans when they went non-smoking. Gosh, it's probably been 5 years ago now, and they were watching very closely the numbers. And I know there was a drop off, and it wasn't. I remember what they said was it wasn't that people would stop showing up. It's that instead of having 3 or 4 hours straight at a game, just getting in the zone, they'd realize they need a break and they'd get up and stop and then come back. So there'd be little breaks. But yeah, to your point, I think the pros of being non-smoking, obviously health, you live longer, outweigh the cons. But
absolutely,
so,
yeah.
All right, so moving on, your videos they're so fun to watch. And I think your enthusiasm comes across. And we talked earlier about the dream job. And I think a lot of people, when they watch you have so much fun, they think you are, oh man, just rainbows and butterflies all the time. But I know you're running a business and it's hard work. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think playing slot machines is what people think, and I think it's all I do. So that probably represents 5% of my work. To give you an idea, I'm in my office right now in Playa Vista in Los Angeles. I was here Sunday until 10 o'clock at night. I was here yesterday at 7 in the morning until 10:30 at night. I was here at 8 o'clock this morning. It is hard work. And this is our office. We've taken over a second office because we have so much work to do right now. And so I have 3 workers in the other office going crazy right now. We're shipping out tons and tons of our products from our site, which is a huge undertaking. We're used to doing 30 orders a week maybe, and we have thousands in the last week alone. We sold we sold 5,000 of our masks, which is a little bit.
Show the mask.
Show them. Yeah, here's one of them right here. This is the jackpot mask. Oops. There it is, right there.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
I love these masks. They're so soft and sexy, but I'm not going to promote them because we're out of stock. So, and I don't want to ship anymore. But yeah, so our day is today. I have I think 4 conference calls with different casinos because when people want us to come visit a casino, it involves many chats with all layers of people who work there. They want to. It's usually the same conversation we have every time. Safety precautions they want us to take and got to figure out dates and so we do a lot of chats like that. It's setting up social media posts and videos. That's what I was doing a lot yesterday and last night. And we do promotions. So we always promote for quick hits. So I was editing an ad for that today that I'll go out on Friday. And yeah, it's nonstop. It's a 7-day-a-week job, and I probably do 80 plus hours a week. And when I'm at a casino, it's even longer because we have to film all those hours to make videos, but then I have to catch up on all the work and all the emails that we have. Just sitting here on the call with you right now, I've got another 30 emails I got to go through. Because people, I do have a lot of employees, but we all, and myself, like we handle everything. Like I was emailing back tons of fans today that asked questions and responding back on Facebook and Instagram, because I don't want to just ignore everyone. And people have a lot of legitimate questions, you know, like how do you do this? How does this work? How, you know, and it's the same questions I get a lot. So I should just do a copy and paste, but I don't. I just respond each and every time. But even with all that, I love every second of what we do. When we're having a great time doing it. So if it sounds like I'm complaining, I am definitely not. We work super duper hard, but we love every second of it.
And you mentioned some staff. So obviously you started, and I love the story. I didn't realize how quick it was from the time you hit that first video. And maybe after you could send us the link and we could show like the one. Because didn't you tell me one time before, maybe it was at G2E, that there was kind of one video that popped, and you're like, you know, maybe caught your attention? Or were they all, what was it like? Was there one that really took off, or were they all kind of growing?
I mean, at the very beginning, like the first day, I think I uploaded 3 or 5 videos within an hour. I didn't know what I was doing. I just put them all up. And they were all like 2 or 3 minutes. And then I didn't put up anything for a week. And then I put up another 5 on a day, I think. Like, I was just throwing them up there for fun, right? But then when I went back to Vegas and I was going to meet up with my friend because his dad was getting married again or something, and we made it to a casino, and I was like, I want to put $100 in this high limit machine. And I had never played high limit before in my life. It was Cleopatra 2. It was a 20-line game, and I put in $100 bill, and I only played 9 lines because I was like, I am never ever going to be betting $20 a spin. Usually I'm comfortable with like $3 to $5. And I was doing $9 spins, and like my first 7 or 8 spins were nothing, didn't hit a thing, but I was still filming it. And then we hit the bonus, and it was like the biggest bonus you could imagine on that machine. It was so good. And I was like swearing nonstop. I was like excited. I couldn't even drink my beer. The camera was like shaking. It was so real. I think the emotion was so real. And the excitement level was ridiculous. At one point, I even turned off my camera by accident because I was like shaking so much. I had to like turn it back on because we re-triggered, I think, this for the second time. And I was like, oh my God. And I clicked power off. So I think like that video right there just launched the channel to another level. I think that I could have imagined. Yeah. I think that one, I saw it a few days ago. It's around 2.5 million views on that one right now.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, so launched to another level. It went from you. When did you start hiring staff?
Yeah, it's about the 1 year mark. I think it was the 1 year mark where, you know, at this point I'm doing 7 videos a week, like every single day, editing the videos, making my thumbnails. And actually, I don't even think I made thumbnails back then. I think I literally just took a screenshot of something and put it up there. Some of them I made thumbnails for, though. And that's when I put out a notice for an editor. And I finally found my editor in Kentucky. And he's been my editor for the last 3 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I got Britt, who's great.
Yeah, Britt's been with us for just over a year now. And we've had other staff members that have come and gone. We have a few other ones that work behind the scenes or temporary here and there whenever we need them to.
Yeah, well, I know we've been working with you and Britt on the Rudy's Cruise, which we're the next one's October, which we're got our fingers crossed is going to happen.
Of course, it'll happen. It'll be the most amazing thing ever.
As long as people are wearing the jackpot masks, right? Everyone's got to stay safe.
Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, and we've got another one in February, Rudy's Cruise. Unfortunately, both of these are sold out now. They both.
Wait, is it February sold out?
I think that one just came across as. Yeah, I think just yesterday I figured that out. So, so we'll have to schedule more because they're a lot of fun.
I know, this is crazy. But they are the best fun ever, the most fun that I've ever had, and we literally close down the casino like every day together. It's so much fun.
No, the content, the videos are amazing. It feels like I'm there, and you always film that music video, or you've done it a couple times now, which like inevitably everyone in our office will start singing once that drops. So.
Yeah.
So what do you see from you and from BC Slots for the next 12 to 18 months?
Oh gosh, I can't even imagine Every time I'm asked that question throughout my career, I can't imagine what's happening. Like when I'm in the moment I'm in right now, I can't imagine what's happening right now. Like it's unbelievable. So the next 6 months are already solidified. We are completely solid with trips to casinos and holding events and cruises and everything else. Next year, I mean, I don't know how you one up that. Maybe more cruises, more. I don't know. I love to reinvent myself over and over again and try different things. You know, like around the 1 year mark or 1.5 year mark or 2 years, I forget now. I started doing like 360 videos where you could you could spin the video around to see the whole casino and me on the other side, and then I introduced picture in picture, so now they don't have to spin around anything. They just see me the whole time and see the game the whole time, and we're always trying to find something new, something different and unique. Because when I first started my channel, there was like a dozen channels that did this, and now there are hundreds of them. And they look to us at the top that are like, oh, this is how they do it. Okay, let me do that too. And I'm like, okay, everyone's doing it now. Okay, now I gotta change this. And then you always gotta like stand out a little bit. And that's my message to everyone that wants to start their own channel too. Is find out what everyone else is doing. That's great. Do your research, but then find out how you can one up them or make it a little bit more unique. Like there's a million makeup channels, makeup tutorials. Well, how can you stand out from the rest? That's really tough niche to get into for sure.
Well, that's great wisdom, and we have no doubt you're going to continue to innovate and blaze new trails. And we're excited to keep working with you. We love doing these cruises with you and the Rudies. And so, for more information, where should they go?
VCSlots.com.
VCSlots.com.
Everything's on there, yeah.
And then search Brian Christopher on YouTube. I know you've got a feet different channels that are right. You have how many channels now on YouTube?
2, yeah. Brian Christopher Slots and Brian Christopher Online.
Well, Brian, it is always a pleasure. I know we'll be talking quite a bit about organizing these events, and so just thank you for making time.
My pleasure, Craig. Thank you so much.